What's good, y'all, and welcome to the Tower of Deception Day 3. So, because we've yesterday seen the limits of how far we can get with our current gear sets, we've decided to step up our game a bit. So we have a mix of Aegis Wrath, obviously nothing too crazy, but still there. A Aegis Wrath, a Infernal Roar, a Wisdom, a Night Terror, a Soulbound Arcana, and I believe a Fracture set. So these are the sets we've brought with us, as well as a trusty Guardian set on Oleg. Are we going to need all of them? I don't know. But yeah, we really did see that in the Hidden Chamber. It was kind of the point where we need more gear, really. So yeah, for now, I would still say the first 4 stages should be a cakewalk. Though the last ones might actually end up being a different story. So here for the healer, we're just gonna try to take him out early. Alright, so they are applying poisons, meaning cleanses are gonna be very important. That's not the least bit annoying. And we can here get the extra block with Oleg, get rid of Idre, and get some blocking going. I do wonder if this poison disappears or if it's permanent. Because if it's permanent, then one of our healers has to go and someone a bit more cleanse capable has to join. So it's gonna be either Midan or Sunday. While I would probably gravitate towards Sunday being our hero of choice when it comes to cleansing. Okay, so we have a mix of healing and poisoning. Interesting. So, if you haven't yet already made the connection, someone like a Talon is obviously gonna be very good because she can auto cleanse herself. And yeah, that is a good thing for all of you that manage to snag yourself a Talon. And the same is obviously true for Anora. For all of you that have an Anora, if you place Anora down, Anora cannot be poisoned in the first place. So Anora and Talon are both great choices that stop you from being forced into this, oh, I have to bring a cleanser roll. So let's check what we have here. Deploy hero strategically. Nice. So let's get a poison cleanser in. All right, into the stage we go. As you can see, we've swapped out Midan for Vortex. Here we have these healer peoples. So we're gonna bring in Idre so we can get some shots in. Are they gonna split? Annoying. So we're just gonna block them with the same person. Ooh, Idre cannot out damage them. That's unexpected. Yeah, did not think I would see that happen. It's because she just swapped her targeting. Makes sense. Alright, so this is our current formation. Looks decently solid, especially with everyone splitting on Oleg. And then it's just us going full attack mode to start to take out these healers. Full block mode with Oleg. And then we get the poisoners. Alright. So we have a lot of poison stacks. But also the poisoner's already dead. So it's not that bad. And once again, it shows that even magic damage can still whoop someone's ass. Oh, and also what we're kind of learning is that even though, yeah, sure, they're poisoning, it's not that bad yet. It's probably gonna be more relevant towards like the boss fight. But like this, we've basically managed to deal with stage 12 now quite solidly, and 2 more between us and the boss fight. Or 3 more technically. So stage 13, here we go. It's this one again. Okay. Let's bring in Volker for some AoE fizz. E-drill, and then hope we get enough cost in time to place someone down. Just gonna be Gluttony. Volker's ult, so we can speed that up a bit. Meaning she can kill a couple more units. Nice, good job. So this still does count as... or they still at least don't count as elites. That's great. E-drill, once again, her targeting isn't the greatest, but it should improve. Okay, there we have the poison shamans. Most important is probably up there. Yeah, and the reason why Yona is still healing is once again the power of Volker. And then lastly, we just bring in another mage. Let's see how long Mrs. Iona can keep this up. But yeah, also something interesting, huh? This whole star bubble counts as a basic attack, which explains like these huge healing numbers. So yeah, I guess that's just something you would mention. And we've learned from our mistakes. As great as E-drill is, it's not worth it to trigger her ultimate anyway, so we're not gonna do that. And there we go, that is stage 13, and then we're gonna take on 14 as well as then the boss fight. Okay, here we are for stage 14. So these should be these poison towers with the one tie range around. Ooh, we need ourselves a Decimus. Probably. Maybe we can get through without him. Alright, Gluttony does his job quite well there. So yeah, it looks like Decimus wouldn't bring us a whole lot anyway, because he's not going to be able to survive. Then now the big question, can we just pull Gluttony and place him down the next time we need him there again? That would be quite nice. If not, we'll obviously have failed the stage at this point. So let's just see what happens. Here we just bring in another blocker. And then some magic damage. We're gonna remove one of the magic damage dealers as soon as we need to again defend this like half lane. If we don't, that's great. If we do, that's fine too. So it's gonna be Greed, our remover of choice. And then there we go. We have successfully mastered this next stage of the tower. Time to remove good old Oleg. Okay, boss fight time. Very interested in what they've spun. Alright, yes, so time for stage 15. You can see we have the max amount of stars. This is the team we'll be going in with, consisting of Volker, Gluttony, Wrath, Salazar. Salazar honestly is not that important. He's just going to be there at the end to make the fight faster, but you can also just take him out. Then we've got Gluttony, Isolde, Midan, Astrid, Nisande, and Hollow. So the important part is Hollow, Nisande, Midan. And the reason for that is there's a mechanic called Spectral something something. Let's see. Spectral Harvest. So how this works is if a unit has 5 stacks of poison, they're gonna die. Alright? So you don't want to let these stacks of poison go higher than 5. That's why you need double cleansers and also a hollow to make your cleansers faster. If you have Elowen, feel free to use Elowen because she fills the double role. She's not only a cleanser herself, but she does also provide Rage Regen. So depending on who you have, pick what's possible and cleanse accordingly. Right here we're just gonna start off aggressive with the double ults. Bring in double cleansers already. And then here as soon as possible bring in Gluttony. So you can see we're on 4 stacks of Volker, which is why we want to cleanse. We have 4 stacks on Astrid. You see the Spectral Harvest. If Astrid had 5 poison stacks at the time, it would have been GG pretty much. But for now we are pretty safe. Right here we put in Wrath. Wrath is going to stop these healers from unnecessarily walking into the lane, giving more and more survivability to that bottom lane, because at the end of the day nothing truly happens besides this bottom lane just swarming and swarming and swarming and swarming and swarming. So that's kind of what happens in this stage. A lot of bottom lane swarming, so we have to get rid of those. The boss is also not going to be able to get past Wrath. So Wrath is kind of like our last line of defense, just clearing out top versus bot. And from here on out, I think you could also probably go to auto ultimates, but I think it's just a bit lame, but you can do so because we are going to pretty much activate ultimates as soon as they're ready. I guess besides this one Astrid ultimate here, because there aren't really any targets to hit. And then once again we're gonna cleanse. Not forget that hollow ultimate so that we can cleanse when we need to. And then you have this like super evolution. What it does is it makes minions unhittable. And also it fully heals them after that evolution is finished. And then I think the minions are like better minions and they do like slightly more damage. So you also obviously want to kill minions as soon as possible and don't waste any ultimates into already existing windows of evolution. Yeah, so there we go. We're down to 32 enemies, 31, whatever else it might be. Spectral Harvest, you can see we don't have anyone over 5 poison stacks, so we're safe. Here they get rid of Wrath, but we don't really care. And then for the boss, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for the boss to enter into the bottom lane. Here we're gonna cleanse. So enter into the lane, meaning that Astrid and Volker can hit. And then place down Salazar. Let's not forget the cleanse. Nature's Embrace, which should be the healing stance. Salazar coming in to play a bit of cleanup. Spectral Harvest on Astrid. You'll see that we didn't quite make it. Ah, we did, barely. If this doesn't work, you can then put in a Wrath or a Isolde to make sure that that last guy just doesn't go past. And then here, once again, cleanse as soon as possible. Get those hits on the boss in. And this should pretty much be it. Just make sure that you don't let that last guy pass, because that would be pretty frustrating, no? So yeah, what that guy does is he adds extra poisons, pretty much outstripping what we can reasonably get rid of. But we also do have a triple unit cycling we can put in every time we lose someone, which is us bringing in Wrath, Astrid, Isolde, and yeah, that's pretty much our triple units. You can see these targets, everybody else doesn't really care. It's just the last unit that dies, and we are gonna be able to push her back every single time. And then the 5 poison is just gonna end it right there, but you see, we're pretty much fine. And it's just us against the clock. Alright, once again, Nature's Embrace. We're going down to 20% boss HP. One of the reasons why this takes so long is because the boss is also like healing themselves. And then here we're just gonna save that last cleanse because we have a couple units on cooldown. We're gonna wait with the cleanse specifically until we see the Spectral Harvest sign. So right here. And also sometimes Rav's hits just, or Salazar's hits just go against the boss, but as you can see, it's pretty much done. Here we can do a bit of a risky play, put in another DPS just so we can get rid of this stage a bit faster. And there you go, that's stage 15. Alright, so time for Hidden Chamber stage 3, 800 KBP, and this is also the point where we won't get any further with just epics unless we take ridiculous gear. Let me show you the team. So we were able to get away with 4 epics, but we are going to be in desperate need of these 2 legendaries because their synergy is just too high. So we have Elwyn for Cleanse and Rage Regen, and then we have Hatset for AoE Burst, and also her being a marksman with physical damage. I'll show you how it all works. You see we have 411 KBP. We are in danger. Awakening wise, Elwyn is A1, but that truly doesn't matter. Everybody else is, or Hatset is A0, everybody else is A5 epic wise. Let's go into the stage. Alright, so into the stage we go. What's the issue with this stage? You have fighters from the bottom, healers and poisoners from the top, flying enemies that also poison from the bottom, and then a huge swarm of enemies on the left side, as well as a boss to deal with, and that boss has a couple special moves. So we're starting out this fight with Hatset so that we can get some early shots in. And the reason why Hatset is so important is because not only does she have incredible burst in her ultimate, but she's also a marksman, allowing her to target the flying enemies. So yeah, to deal with this swarm of enemies, we have our Astrid and our Isolde. And the reason this works is because we're defending on the left side lane, so there's no poisons getting applied. And we also do kill the flying enemies, meaning they don't fly over and attack our Astrid and Isolde formation. Then another cornerstone is going to be Elwyn, and that is Elwyn is going to be able to cleanse our units as well as give us more rage. More rage meaning more ultimates, works obviously because it's global for the left side as well as for our middle right there. And it just helps polish up rotations. Also it boosts your own rage regen, because there might be scenarios where you with a normal cleanse unit are going to be too slow in cleansing. And the reason why you need to cleanse is going to become very clear once the boss finally appears on the screen. And that is because there's a skill called Spectral Poison, right? If I'm not wrong. Spectral Poison. Spectral Harvest. So Spectral Harvest means if you have 5 stacks of poison on your unit at the time of Spectral Harvest casting, you're fucked, alright? It's gonna kill your unit and you have to avoid that. Another interesting or annoying mechanic is the Nature's Embrace. Nature's Embrace is going to be the same thing every time we face against an Eluin, and that is a field of dedicated healing, which makes it almost impossible to kill anyone. That's why we also want that burst on the left side. So units that can work there is anything AoE ground unit wise. So for example, Kigiri should work, but preferably like A5 and whatnot. But yeah, Kigiri, Ardea, Lubu are just units that come to mind. And then here you see Nature's Embrace. Nature's Embrace, because there are no targets, is this time going to go to the bottom, and you see this super annoying healing field, healing for 285k HP. Then after the healing field, you get the Spectral Embrace, and as you can see, nobody with 5 poison stacks would be targeted, but you should still just use your cleanse every time Spectral Harvest appears to get rid of these poison stacks. So here, once again, we are not going to be doing a whole lot. We'll just be waiting for these double units to get into Hatzit's range, which also coincides with the flyer coming out of the portal, giving us the perfect opportunity to use said ultimates to basically eliminate all our problems. Now, Wild Evolution is another super annoying skill. What Wild Evolution does is right here. Wild Evolution, it evolves all monsters, and during the evolutions, the monsters become untargetable and immune to damage. After the evolution completes, they restore all their HP, and when evolved at max level, they gain enhanced damage increase and damage reduction, meaning that whoever gets targeted, like for example this second wave, is going to be significantly harder to kill and is going to hit significantly harder. It's going to be one of the reasons why this fight is going to take quite a while towards the end. Though Astrid is still able to deal with pretty much everything besides the evolved dogs quite successfully. And then here once again you have Nature's Embrace, and that Nature's Embrace is this time going to land on the right side. You can see everybody died besides the dogs. The dogs are going to get healed up till Kingdom Come, making them pretty much undying. So we are not going to be able to get rid of them this time. Once again, Spectral Harvest is our cue for us to ult. Then we get in these big beefy guys. Once again, we wait for exactly the same window of opportunity, which is right here, to get rid of the healer, get rid of the poisoner. Us losing Wrath there is calculated. It is a bit annoying, but it truly does not make a difference. The reason why we're not going to be using a Astrid ult right here is because it would be pointless. If we use Astrid's ult right there, we're not going to kill them in time, and we're going to be missing out on the ultimate for this next wave at the top right there. So that's why we're not going to be doing so. Right here, as soon as Hatzit's ultimate is ready, we can trigger it again in hopes of getting rid of as many units as possible before they evolve, before they evolve further and whatnot. And yeah, right here we wait for these units to start closing in. You see them closing in. You can activate the extra block. You can activate the ability Spectral Harvest. We can cleanse ourselves of the afflictions, and then just in case, for if someone passes, you can place a Wood Elf on your Astrid so that your Astrid gets some healing to stop her from dying. Once again, same timing, you wait for these units to close in, check out that everything is in order. And right here, what we are gonna do is wait for all of them to target Baron so that we can place in Wrath, and at this point we are done. It's gonna be a long fight, and that's because of the Embrace giving the healing, because of the evolution giving the maximum damage reduction, but from here on out you can put it to auto ultimates and it's pretty much GG. Depending on certain timings and whatnot, you might be ending up with a couple more units, a couple less units surviving, but at the end of the day you're going to be fine. So the biggest danger with these dogs is just that they're super tanky. They don't really do a whole lot of damage. So from here on out, let's put it to a higher speed and we see each other when the fight is finished. So this was a pretty unit specific clear featuring Hardset and Elowin. If you're interested in me finding more teams for this state Hidden Chamber 3 because you for example don't have a Hardset, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll probably make a stream or something the like to see if we can find a couple more combinations. But now the important part, gear. So gear wise we have a full attack focused Infernal Raw set with somewhat half decent left side gear. You can definitely improve upon it. The Eye of Sin at 25 can be changed to a low one. The important part is that you kill everything besides the doggos. The doggos can stay alive as long as Ingrid gets rid of everything else. You're pretty much golden. Then on Hardset we only have a Night Terror set, so you could give Hardset some more gear. You can see these stats also aren't super crazy, so that was kind of the goal, to have something a bit more approachable. Then for our tank we have a Guardian set, and as you'll see on Isolde we have just a random bunch of pieces, so not even a set effect. So HP with defense, HP defense, then HP defense and HP defense, who could have guessed. Artifact wise a Bastion on 1, so you don't even need a super high level Bastion. And then on Wrath we have a Aegis Wrath set, but to be fair I think it mostly also works with just a Hardset. These are the stats used, so let's get to the boss fight game. So this Sorbonne Arcana set was also in play, just not for the Hidden Chamber. You can see it's a half decent Sorbonne Arcana set, and that one was on Volker for this fight. So you had Volker in the Sorbonne Arcana, Gluttony in just HP with this artifact, and then Hollow in Rage Region gear with 88% Rage Region, 340 attack speed, as well as a Tyres Bomb. Midan in HP gear with some attack speed, a bit of Rage Region, and an Euphoric Orb. And then Nisande had the gear of Elowin, which also wasn't anything crazy. Looking pretty much like this. You can see around 200% attack, 180 attack speed, some Rage Region, and an Elysian Epitaph. Did we miss anybody? Nope. So this is the gear used, and we see each other on either more Hidden Chamber stages or stage 16 plus. Peace!